But yeah, that's
One,
fun. That's a fun place.
Yeah, one thing that we've added that we've started slowly working into what we're doing, we want to get involved with another group to do a live stream investigation, but we want to. I've purchased some 360 cameras that I can live stream with.
Sure.
So I wanted to set up with 360 cameras wherever you're doing this investigation, so that you have what I call audience participation. You don't have eyes in the back of your head.
Mm-hmm.
As they're watching it, if you stream it on YouTube or whatever, people can move around. In other words, they can use their finger or mouse and look behind you, to the side of you, and that sort of thing. Because a lot of people, like you say, a lot of games are played on these reality shows, and you can't see where the ball rolls from, or things like that.
Right. Yeah, everything is just off a camera. So
Yeah.
And that's something that my group and myself, we are currently working on. We have an investigation June 15th. It's the USS North Carolina battleship.
Yeah.
And we're going to be the only group on board all night, and we're going to be doing some live streaming on that as well, along with some live Facebook stuff. And we're going to invite as many people as wants to view, because the battleship is huge. It's like 780 feet long, and it takes hours to go through the tour, and that's just a guided tour. So
right.
So it's going to be a great thing if we can get it pulled off, which I'm pretty sure we can. I got a pretty good production crew on my team, and so I agree with what you say. That's we need more investigations like that so people can interact and see that it's not the bells and whistles you see on TV.
Right.
And
any TV production company, and I learned this when I filmed the episode of Finding Bigfoot, which is the only episode they ever shot in the state of Alabama. And you can pull that up. It's Bama Bigfoot, and view it. And we shot the episode in 2012. It didn't air till like 2014. But it's like when you see the two of the crew members out in the woods. Well, with them there'll be about 4 more people.
Yes.
You're gonna have a cameraman. You got a battery guy, and then you got a sound guy, and then you got the director. And so, here we go. And I go with Bobo and Cliff, and which, the footage I captured of the Sasquatch 50 feet away was just before you get to Sylacauga. When we went walking out, I told them, I said, y'all do understand we're probably not going to have anything happen. I mean, there's just too much,
interference,
interference. And we're walking along, and all of a sudden Bobo goes, he's from California, so everything ends in dude. So all of a sudden he goes, dude, hear that? And I looked at Cliff, and Cliff's looking at me, and we said, hear what? And he goes, 3 loud wood knocks, come from down there. And, we've got on earpieces and microphones because there's a sound guy that's listening to us. And so I just, I just go, hey, sound guy, I said, roll back that and tell me if you hear those. If you don't hear them, don't respond. Well, we never heard another word, And we walked around and him hauled around there in the woods for about 2-3 hours. And we're walking back to the base camp, which was where I captured the footage, is a crew of about 15 people. I mean, they got a big panel van that, they're carrying their equipment, and they had it catered, they're eating Greek food, and I mean, it's like a party. And we're coming down the hill towards the base camp. And I just looked to my right off the edge of a little pine grove, and there's 2 sets of eye shine. And
Oh man.
I get down to where the the guy that shot the episode with me. I got down there next to him, and I said, "Don't say nothing, don't look nowhere." I said, "But there's 2 sets of eyes watching us." And he said, "Yeah, I done seen them." And those shows are purely entertainment. I mean, and that's something in the Bigfoot world that you have to be very, very cautious of. The hoaxers are out there.
You gotta be. It's the same thing with the paranormal.
Yes,
Exact same thing.
They got their YouTube channels. They're pushing for subs and likes, views, because they're hoping to make money off of it. And so a lot of times I'll run into some researchers, and I'll go. They'll say, "Yeah, we were at such and such place, and we heard this, these wood knocks." And I'll look at them. And I'll go, "Well, let me hear it." What do you mean, let you hear it? I said, "Well, if you're a researcher, number one rule is always be recording. When you step out of that vehicle, you got a recorder strapped on you somewhere." And I'm probably one of a handful of researchers that carries and has, if I tell you, about a wood knock, I'll play it for you.
I can't wait to see what you bring to the convention, Paul. That's going to be real. It's going to be hard to limit you to time.
Yeah, I got to really look through it and see what I want to, focus on, because, when I do the town hall meetings, it's basically to give out information and educate people, about the history. We talk about history. It goes back thousands of years, not just, in the past century. And my whole purpose in it, I'm not trying to get protection for them, because they obviously don't need our help. It's just to bring more awareness to people like myself, that when you're out in the woods, be more respectful. Don't throw down your beer cans or your cigarette butts. You're basically throwing it in their living room floor. Right. And I know if you come to my house and you put your cigarette out on my floor, I'm probably going to whoop your butt before you get out the door. And, but, my boys are Marines, and I'd shot a video in one of my research areas, and I was being paralleled by the juvenile, and I just barely catch him on video. Just barely, but he's there. And my son is he's at combat training. He's laying in his bunk. He's watching my video. And all of a sudden he text messages me and says, "Dad, you captured a wood knock in your video?" I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, go back and watch it." So I went back to my video and I watched it, and sure as the world, you hear it in the background behind me. You hear this sound like a broomstick just whack on the tree one time. But that's something and some of these guys on these YouTube channels, come on. Really? I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
But I've seen it done. I've had them, and kind of like the paranormal. You set yourself up. When you go out in the woods, you basically set yourself up. You're already anticipating, hoping to have something happen, to hear a noise. And so I've always got like 2 or 3 recorders going. I've got them strategically placed. That way, if I hear a sound on one, I should be able to go to the other 2 and hear it. If I don't hear it on those other 2, then I'll know where that sound came from. But like trail cams, waste of time. You just, I don't care how many you put up. It's just a waste of time. I've had them take my trail cams. I'd have them buried and nothing but the lens sticking out of the side of a bank. And they would take that sucker, they'd pull it out, lay it on the ground face up, and turn it off. And, if that would have been a hunter, he'd been his lucky day. He'd have took home a trail cam.
Yeah.
But, and then I had one trail cam that, it was a Bushnell. When you open up the door, the camera swings to the back. And this one particular camera, they would take it, they would open it up and turn it to where it's looking behind it. Not even looking where I had it pointed. And I get so mad because when I pull that card and I have to go to look, you'd see me setting it up and walking away, and then you'd see nothing but pictures of the bushes behind it. And but he made a mistake. Is every time they would close it back, they would not do both of the latches. They'd only do one, the bottom. And so when I captured the photo of the one in the barn, I had that particular camera. I had it up in the rafters, looking down at these people. What happened was they had these quail, and they were raising quail and rabbits and chickens to eat. But something was coming into the barn and stealing the quail and chickens. And sometimes they'd steal as many as 10 quail at a whack. And so I put a camera up. It's called a plot watcher. And I put it up. It takes a picture every 5 seconds. And so I set it up, and it'll record for a whole week. And so the first 3 days I had it watching the front door of the barn. And then the next 2 days I put it watching the side door of the barn. On the last day, I put it watching the back door. But what I didn't realize is there was only 30 pictures left on the thumb drive. So it started taking pictures as soon as I set it up. And they were already in the barn, because in that minute and a half, it captured a picture of the big one. He's standing in the doorway of the barn, which is a 10 door. And he's just as jet black. Just as jet black as he can be. But you can see his eyes. They glow off the eyes are glowing off because I put enough ambient light in there where the camera would work. Mm-hmm. And then just below him, right there at the rabbit pen, 10 feet behind me, you see a face looking out from at the edge of the pen. But I went in the next day and retrieved, the cameras, and I retrieved the one up in the rafters. And when I picked it up, and I'm real good at, making sure everything's sterile. I'm very meticulous about it. And when I pulled that camera down, I noticed that the bottom latch was done, but the top wasn't. So I opened up that camera, and when I did, there inside the camera is one hair. And that hair, after being analyzed, that hair, the guy, the biologist told me, he said, I don't know where this hair come from. He said, but it's unique. He said, it's very resilient. The medulla is super thick, and it had a curvature to it. He said, no matter how you turn that hair, you can hold it by the tip and turn it. It never loses, its shape. If you take one of our hairs, long hair, it was only about 3 inches long, and you grab it and you turn it, it'll just flip flop every which way. This hair didn't lose its shape. He said, plus the tip of it, he said, it's never been cut. He said, it's sharpened like a pencil. He said, it's natural wear. And he said, I gave him the okay to go ahead and just do the DNA test on it. And he, of course, months later, I get, the call, and he's like, man, I took, I had to destroy the hair to do the DNA. I said, yeah, I know it. He said, I got bad news though. And I said, and what's that? He said, well, it was contaminated. I said, well, what do you mean it was contaminated? He said, well, it come up in human DNA. I said, yeah. And he goes, well, it's contaminated. I said, well, how the hell did you get contaminated? Because I know a little bit. I ain't no dummy. I said, you got to wash that thing like a lot. You wash it and clean it. And you're going to tell me it's still contaminated. And he's like, well, it was Homo sapien, 100%. I said, I know it. That's what they are. And he's